So what kind of doctor are you anyways?
Podiatrist and a gynecologist.
Like pig vaginas and feet?
No, lady vaginas. And pig's feet.
You mean hooves?
Fuck you. There are too many games!
And the internet usually gets stuck talking about the same few every month.
That is correct.
Overwatch, let's talk about Overwatch.
Fuck no! So let's talk about 10 great games that didn't get the attention they deserved last year. Made by Just Cause developer Avalanche, Mad Max the game was released the same day as the Blu-ray of the film here in America, which was the same day as Metal Gear Solid 5.
Ha!
That's the wrong graphic. Anyways, the internet was a bit preoccupied that week, which is a shame because Mad Max is a really fun, straightforward open-world adventure. The game's focus is split between car and on-foot sections, and the car combat is more demo derby than Twisted Metal. Success usually hangs on who you can ram the fuck out of, and how you kit out your car affects its performance.
Witness me.
The on-foot combat is like the Batman Arkham games.
Sweet.
Shotgun ammo is rare and not the focus, although it is quite satisfying when you do blast some dude in the chest.
That's what you're into, huh?
Shut up. It's all well polished with storyline. You do missions to unlock gear and upgrades, drive around the huge map, find a raider base and take out its exterior defenses, drive up to it and beat the shit out of everyone inside. Take it over and repeat a bunch of times. There's a bit more to it than that. Scouting the locations for intel, finding different entrances, but you get the point.
The Vita is dead.
Hold up a second there, Scrappy-Doo. This is one of the best reasons to own a Vita. It's part of the Danganronpa series of video games. Unlike the rest of the series, Ultra Despair Girls plays like a survival horror game, sort of like a Resident Evil 4 or Evil Within. Controlling Komaru and teaming up with Toko from the first game, you try to escape a deserted city by shooting crazed teddy bears in the face.
And she has huge boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Not really. As buxom as the lead character is, the expected anime sexy is unusually muted for a game like this.
Oh.
Komaru's gun has different modes: knockback, dancing, detection, hacking. And pressing the triangle button, you take control of Toko's alternate personality, serial killer Genocide Jack, for some good old hack and slash gameplay. The story is suitably fucked up. It starts with an old boy-like setup and unravels into the post-events of the first game, which you don't have to play to enjoy this one. And I should know, although I own the first game and its sequel, I actually haven't completed either.
Pile of shame.
Lack of anime boobs, right?
Yes, her big boobs are indeed real.
Good news! Dex is now on the Xbox One and PS4, which is great because last year's PC release went by a bit overlooked.
I don't play PC games. What the fuck is Dex?
Dex is a 2D, side-scrolling, pixel art RPG platformer reminiscent of Shadowrun.
Huh?
Deus Ex.
Oh. Sweet. It's Question, a cyberpunk RPG.
You control the character Dex, a blue-haired lady who wakes up to discover she's the target of a group of corporations known as the Complex. You go around getting quests from NPCs, which like the Deus Ex games can be completed multiple ways. Shooting, punching, hacking, talking it out. Dex is able to go into hacking mode at any time to hack cameras and computers. You're also able to upgrade her stats by leveling up with skill points and augments. Hard to believe Czech developer Dreadlock successfully kickstarted Dex for the meager sum of $40,000 US.
So Iggy, are you gonna back my indie games Kickstarter?
What is it, a shooting game?
No combat. Too hard to program.
Does it have puzzles?
No puzzles.
So what are you doing it? Give me the elevator pitch.
It's a first-person game where you slowly walk around a mostly static environment and click on journal entries to learn about how someone touched your butthole in high school.
I think I'll pass. You'd think the game would have made a bigger splash with all the cool kids liking pixel art indie games, but the game looks more LucasArts than Fez. But fuck the cool kids.
But fuck the cool kids.
Shut up. Okay, stick with me here.
Okay.
Deception 4 The Nightmare Princess is actually an expanded version of 2014's Deception 4 Blood Ties,
Deception?
which is actually the 5th game in the Deception series, which isn't called Deception in Japan.
What?
Deception, Invitation to Darkness, Kagero, Deception 2, and Deception 3 Dark Delusion were all released on the PlayStation 1.
Okay.
Trapped, not to be confused with the awful new metal band, is the 4th game and was released on the PS2.
What?
It was marketed in Japan as Kagero 2, the sequel to the second Deception game, Kagero.
I'm lost.
Deception 4, The Nightmare Princess, released on the PS4, the PS3, and the PS Vita, includes 2014's Blood Ties, and a new quest featuring a new player character. Okay, did you get all that?
No.
The Deception games are murder puzzles.
What?
You lure enemies into rooms which you have placed traps, and set off those traps in combos to kill do-gooders who have stepped inside your murder castle.
Oh, so it's like Home Alone.
Okay, sure. In Deception 4 Blood Ties, the traps are defined by 3 methods: sadistic, humiliating, and elaborate.
I don't know what's happening.
Each method used earns currency rewards from a corresponding servant of the devil to purchase new abilities and traps.
The devil?
Yeah, in the Blood Ties quest you play the daughter of the devil, Lagrina, killing her way to the 12 holy verses, imprisoning her father.
Wait. This is the butt crack game.
Huh?
Yeah, check it. The chick has her butt crack out the entire game.
Huh. What do you know?
Yeah, there's not enough games with butt cracks.
In the Nightmare Princess quest you play as Velgary, who conspires to beat her sister Lagrina to the punch and release the devil herself. The quest tree, the biggest change in her campaign, takes a different approach to game progress. Unlike Lagrina's campaign, Velgary completes objectives to unlock traps and abilities.
Still don't know what's happening.
The whole package is topped off with Deception Studio, which allows players to create their own missions, which I didn't fuck with. Zombie Army Trilogy is a sniper game by Rebellion, who makes the Sniper Elite series.
Oh, and the Rogue Trooper game.
What? The campaign's actually made up from 2 DLCs from Sniper Elite V2,
Dude, Rogue Trooper.
but with a newly added third act, additional characters, and horde mode. Control-wise, it plays similar to the Sniper series, but in Zombie Army Trilogy, the objectives are much simpler. Shoot zombies in the head. In X-ray slow motion.
Yeah.
Over and over until they're all dead. You can skip the slow-mo, but why would you?
Ooh, fuck 'em up.
Soaked in spooky atmosphere, the game asks little from its players, and rewards with a sniper-focused 60 frames per second gore fest. But this game might not be your cup of tea if you're one of those people who gets tired of watching slow-motion bullets take out zombie teeth.
Oh, which reminds me, I gotta see somebody about this wisdom tooth.
Oh, you should go see my guy, he's real cheap. Only $80 for root canal.
Really? Why so cheap?
Oh, because he doesn't use anesthetic, he just plays with your balls a bit.
What?
All 3 acts are unlocked from the beginning, and you can play any chapter from the start. The game also has online co-op, which is the only way you'll get through some of the harder difficulties. Horde mode is what you expect, killing waves and waves of zombies in a set location. With a chunky campaign and online co-op fun, how this game flew beneath the radar is beyond us. Xenoblade Chronicles X is part of the Xeno series of games, which includes
Here we go.
Xenogears, the 3 Xenosaga games, and the first Xenoblade Chronicles.
And the fuckers never localized the DS remake of Xenosaga 1 and 2.
And this game has more features than Mr. Pig has anime fuck pillows.
Hey, what me and my waifus have is beautiful and real.
In this spiritual sequel to the first Xenoblade Chronicles, you create your own character to romp around this open-world RPG. Escaping the destruction of Earth, the evacuee ship, the White Whale, crash lands on planet Mira. Your character is a Blade, New LA's military force tasked with exploring Mira by foot or by giant robots.
Which you don't get until like 30 hours into the game.
It's quite ambitious, and there's a bit of a learning curve as to what everything does. Because this game has an absurd amount of systems and stuff to do. It's like the kitchen sink of RPGs.
Class system.
Check.
Skill tree.
Check.
A billion of achievements that don't matter because Nintendo doesn't do that.
Check.
Passive abilities.
Yep.
Relationship graph.
Uh-huh.
Paint your headquarters pink.
Sure, if you like.
A badass team member with a cool name.
Yeah, that'd be murderous.
A chart for every item in the game, but you have to sacrifice one for it to count.
Ask and thou shalt receive.
Giant birds with testicles on their chins.
If that's your thing.
Jailbait.
Yeah. Yeah?
A fuck ton of missions, submissions, and quests.
Check, check, and check. Combat is frantic. Weapons are class-based and you constantly switch between ranged attacks and melee.
Sweet.
The world is huge. You can go to any landmass you see, and it's packed with strange creatures, artifacts, and landmarks to discover. There's an online component as well, and you can explore with friends.
But I don't have any friends.
And look at that crab thing there. That's not even a boss battle.
Whoa.
It's just one of many creatures you'll come across exploring Mira. If you like your games with a sense of discovery,
Heck yeah.
and so dense that you have to keep a wiki nearby,
You fucking know it.
then it sounds like this isn't a game you should miss. When you add a word like Revelations to a title, you're just asking people not to take it as seriously as your franchise's numbered installments.
Like Ascension, Judgment, Defiance,
So you'd be forgiven if you didn't know Revelations 1 and 2 are better than Resident Evil 5.
and Resident Evil come in a spiderweb. I mean 6.
In Revelations 2, you switch between two stories, Claire Redfield's and Barry Burton's.
Aw shit. Big bag Barry Burton.
The old sack is gonna pay for what she did to Moira.
You hear that? Sacks are gonna pay.
Oh, and pay they do. It's similar to Resident Evil 4 with the actiony gameplay of the more recent Resident Evil games. Each character has a sidekick, and most of the game's puzzles require teamwork to solve. You can play the game co-op, but the sidekick characters can't shoot guns.
Then I call dibs on Barry.
And once again, inventory management returns. And you'll find in-game currency which is used to level up abilities in the skill tree. Although familiar, the atmosphere in this game is a bit scarier than the previous Revelations.
Wait. This is a horror video game.
And
You're not going to do that thing YouTubers do where you scream, nope, at every scary thing you see, are you?
what?
That wasn't funny when people were doing it 2 years ago, and it's super not funny now.
Dude, no. I don't get frightened by video games.
Bullshit.
No, dude, I'm only afraid of three things. Soup, starfish, and Asian babies. The game also has quite a robust raid mode,
Asian babies.
which you can play solo or online as you level up characters from Resident Evil history to unlock new abilities, costumes, and weapons.
Wait, you're gonna have to explain this Asian baby thing.
If you were disappointed by Resident Evil 6, Revelations 2 is easily the salve for those wounds. You like turn-based games like Valkyria Chronicles?
Fuck yeah!
What about visual novels?
Not so much.
Landcars, makers of Strange Journey in the Etrian Odyssey series, created this tactical RPG which mixes elements from multiple genres. In Lost Dimension, to stop a world-ending threat, a team of super psychics must battle their way up a mysterious tower filled with evil robots. Like Valkyria Chronicles, you confront enemies as a squad, taking turns moving across the battlefield and attacking. Each member of your group has a psychic gift, like pyrokinesis, magnokinesis, telekinesis, all of which can be leveled up in RPG fashion.
What about penis kinesis? The power to lift objects with your wang.
The game's unique twist is that one of your teammates is a traitor. Your character Sho will have to use his psychic gifts, as well as talk and form bonds with teammates to figure out who that is. The majority of this is done in visual novel-like sequences.
Boo.
Mr. Dr. Pig, what is it you have against visual novels?
It's like a very slow way to tell a very boring story. Here, let me show you. Keiko.
I'd play that.
Yeah, me too.
At the end of each chapter, you have to expose the traitors, which are random each playthrough. Deploying squad members allows for a post-mission glimpse into their heads, and you can spend limited vision points for a deep dive to confirm suspected traitors.
Behold, the power of penis kinesis!
You might want to start with something a bit smaller there, Chief. You also have to balance the squad's sanity. Use too many powers or take too much damage, and characters will go berserk, attacking anything in its way.
Oh no, I've gone berserk with penis kinesis!
Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Overdrive is a 2D, neo-retro,
Not a word.
beat-em-up similar to Scott Pilgrim or Castle Crashers.
And can we please acknowledge the existence of Charlie Murder?
Based off an obscure fighting game property, you play as a group of girls.
Wait, a Japanese game where you play as a bunch of schoolgirls? You know what that means?
Not this time. The characters in Battlegrounds are all SD stylized, also known as super deformed, with childlike bodies, big heads.
Boo!
Battlegrounds Overdrive is actually an upgraded version of Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds, which came out a few years ago. With new skills, abilities, and items, Overdrive uses the extra horsepower of the PlayStation 4 to have more enemies on the screen at once. Soon after you choose your character in either solo or multiplayer, shit gets bananas quickly, and the on-screen mayhem comes at you in bursts.
Do you think there are people out there that, have a super deformed fetish?
How's that work? Like someone who masturbates face down ass up so they can shove Funko Pop dolls up the rectum?
First of all, ew. Second of all, dude, Funko Pop dolls are bullshit.
That's probably why they're so popular. Secret butt plugs. But hey, no judgment. But what makes this game different from most modern beat-em-ups is its depth of combat. You can dash, duck, block, not something you can usually do in this genre. Aggression is definitely felt. Your characters start off kinda slow and weak, but by collecting red XP orbs, you can use them to level up both stats and skills. And you'll have to grind a bit, because the game's difficulty ramps up considerably after the first stage.
And what about the story?
It has something to do with parallel dimensions or something. I don't fucking know.
Budokai!
No, this isn't Budokai.
Budokai!
Dragon Ball Xenoverse, made by the developer Dimps, a Japanese company that's made like 1 billion video games, including one of my favorites, Freedom Wars,
Budokai!
is actually the 15th Dragon Ball console game.
Budokai! Why? It's fun to say.
Now to be honest, I don't even really like Dragon Ball.
What?
Just hear me out. I have seen a bunch of the show, and I think most anime properties, with their over-the-top characters and colorful settings, just make for better video games.
Dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Dragon Ball is sweet.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse is sort of like a fighting game RPG.
As God intended.
And in the main story, instead of playing as Goku or Gohan or Piccolo, you create your own character. Choosing from a number of races, including Namekian and whatever the fuck Frieza is, you Forrest Gump your way through Dragon Ball history with Trunks.
Who comes from a future where 90s haircuts are cool again.
Me and Jonathan Taylor Thomas have the same barber, bro.
That's some pretty good voice acting.
Thanks. Yeah, unfortunately my acting career didn't quite work out.
What? You were an actor?
Yeah, for a while actually. But my agent said I didn't audition well. Hello, my name is Iggy. I am represented by KM Talent, and I am auditioning for the role of Steve Rogers / Captain America. Hey, I'm pooping here!
I don't remember that line from the movie.
The combat system is easy enough to pick up, and victory is often stat reliant, so you'll have to do a bit of grinding submissions to be powerful enough to beat the story missions. In the hub town, you can buy equipment and consumables, as well as take on submissions and find mentors to learn new moves, which there are a lot of.
And you get to fight a giant monkey.
I think that's an ape.
Nope, it's got a tail. It's a giant monkey.
Not worth arguing. So that's 10 underrated games from 2015.
Okay, so let's talk about Overwatch now.
Aww, unfortunately it's all the time we have.
You son of a bitch!
Octopus Avenue is brought to you by the letter N, and the letter I, and the support of viewers like you.
Come on, suckers. Hit subscribe!